centerpiece today, the future site of the Welcome Cabin for Wilton Wildlife Preserve and Parks for the Larry Gordon Outdoor Education Center that we are celebrating today. I'm sort of the MC, I guess, but I wanted to say, of course, a few words, because how could I not say a few words with all these wonderful people here? I couldn't help but think this morning that this is the perfect spot, because those of you who knew Larry, he would be here in the parking lot, in his truck, you know, greeting people, offering to hand out a map, giving them information, asking about the trails, what's going on out there. So we always joked he was our welcoming committee. So to be here today, you know, in this spot where he spent so much time, and especially maybe poignantly, this is right before his birthday? Are we right? The day? Yeah. A couple days before his birthday. The 30th is his birthday. So to celebrate Larry. So there's just, again, looking out and saying hi to so many of you today. That's just all the different connections that Larry had in this community. I see, you know, former and current town board members, former and current Wilton Wildlife Preserve and Park board members, people he worked with in planning at the LAZAR, the Lower Adirondack Search and Rescue, people that he worked with in so many of these other community organizations. The rangers, John, thank you for coming, the park rangers forest rangers that he worked with so closely in search and rescue and fire, in all of the different areas that he had. And then of course, scouting as well. And so some of you were scouts. I know Bill Dake was a scout here at Camp Saratoga, so that's part of a lot of people's experience here at Camp Saratoga as well. So I'm also super excited that we have some people right from the very founding of our organization of Wilton Wildlife Preserve and Park. Roy McDonald here, former town supervisor, Peter Litchfield, Linda Baker, some of these first founding people who had the vision and got us to where we are today. So I don't want to take much more time. I do want to say that in a few minutes we may see a school group pull in, so to be like a little aware of the school group, but I think that's perfect that we have a school group here today and that we're celebrating the Larry Gordon Outdoor Education Center that will help continue the future of this educational, beautiful facility that has been part of the community for so long. So Matthew Michek is one of our board co-chairs, and he's going to say a few words.
Thank you, Margot. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Wilton Wildlife Preserve and Park, I want to express our deepest appreciation for the incredible generosity shown by Stewart's Shops and the Dake family with this donation for the Larry Gordon Outdoor Education Center at the town of Wilton's Camp Saratoga. Your dedication to making a positive impact in the community is truly inspiring, and we are honored for your contribution to this important work. We are proud to have Larry Gordon's name attached to this project, a man many of us personally knew and enjoyed gathering with. Larry spent a great deal of his life protecting, enhancing, and promoting conservation of these very lands here at Camp Saratoga and throughout the county. This donation means the world to us and will have a tremendous impact on our ability to serve the community we care so deeply about. With these funds, we will be able to expand our programs and services, reach more people, and continue to make a meaningful difference in the lives of those we serve. This project begins with the renovation of the Boy Scout Health Lodge to become the Welcome Center building for the campus. This will be the gateway for visitors to retrieve information and learn about what this campus has to offer. Later phases will involve the renovation of the IP Winter Lodge into a multi-purpose classroom and meeting space for public programming and presentations. The former Ranger Cabin will be transformed to serve a dual purpose of housing a nature center for the Wilton Wildlife Preserve and Park and a display center for Larry Gordon's historic scouting collection. I would like to further thank our land and property owner partners, New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, the County of Saratoga, and significantly, the town of Wilton, whose grounds maintenance team will also be performing the renovations to these structures and will continue to own and maintain them. In closing, I want to reiterate our deepest gratitude to Stewart's Shops and the Dake family for their exceptional generosity. Your donation will have a ripple effect, creating positive change in the lives of countless individuals in our community. Thank you once again for your incredible support, belief, and investment in our cause. We are truly honored to have Stewart's Shops as our partners, and we look forward to the journey ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. And thank you again, as Matthew said, thank you to everyone, to the Dakes, to Stewart Shops, to the town for everything. I know there's someone here who used to say, you can't, you have to thank people at least 7 times. And I always keep that in mind. So make sure we say thank you 7 times today. So the next person who I'm bringing up to speak is John Land, the town supervisor for the town of Wilton. So he has a few words.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank you all for showing up on this great day in Wilton to honor Larry. The town has started the rehab process of the existing building that will be dedicated in Larry Gordon's memory. The building used is not far from Larry's memorial rock. When completed, the building would be a welcome center for visitors to Camp Saratoga with improved visibility and access to information. Camp Saratoga was a former camp which Larry was constantly working, improving, and preserving. These funds will help Larry's vision well into the future. I want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Dake for their very, very generous donation for the project, and I want to thank those all involved for making this happen. You know, I know Larry's looking down on us, wondering what's going on, or sitting in his bench there. Larry was a very humble person, never looking for pats on the back or any credit. But what an honor this will be for Larry and his family forever. I know in my mind, Larry will always be a legend in this town, in this county, because he did a lot of things for a lot of people. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, John. And as Matthew said in his remarks, we would be undoable without the wonderful partnership that we have with the town of Wilton, the support that we have from them, from the town board, from the workers in the staff, Scott Harrington, Ryan, all the other people at Town Hall who really help us every day to be able to do what we do here. The next person I bring up is Trish Watkins, Larry's widow, to represent his family, and we have family members here as well. Thank you for coming today.
Larry's Uncle Sid and his wife Ella. If I told you that Larry came down to this parking lot at least 10 times every day, I would not be exaggerating. He was a self-appointed one-man welcome committee. Out of his vehicle, as Margot said, he would speak to whoever was here, go through a litany of questions. What's your name? Where are you from? Where do you work? He'd keep asking questions until he'd find a connection. And then once he found a connection, he'd launch into one of his stories, or maybe several of his stories. Something about their relatives, or their boss, or the history of the neighborhood that they live in. He spent, of course, a great deal of time preserving and maintaining this property. He came here as a youth, as a scout, so it held a very special place in his heart. And he wanted others to be able to enjoy that same special memories that he had. As was mentioned, Larry was a collector, and one of his collections is his scouting documents and memorabilia. And it's only right that those documents ultimately find a home here for display and preservation. Of course, Camp Saratoga was only one of Larry's many, many projects. He was very active in the community, and whether he was, although he was the boots on the ground for those projects, he almost always needed financial support for those projects. And that's when he would turn to Bill Dake. So whether he was providing refreshments for volunteers, or a picnic for a crew of inmates, or looking for really significant financial backing, he knew that he could turn to the Dakes and Stewarts for that assistance. But in addition to that financial backing, what you probably don't know is how often he would turn to Bill to brainstorm his projects and get guidance about how to make them happen. And that was really very, very critical for him. We have a long way to go in order to complete the development of this project. And we're so grateful that you've seen fit to include us in the many community projects and programs that you support. So we thank you very much. And with that, Bill, I'll turn it over to you.
I think we've done the 7 thank yous, so it's a pleasure to recognize what Larry has done over the last several decades, not just for this area, but for Saratoga County as a whole. Larry's day job was the county planner, and you could not write a job description for what he really did. I served on the county planning board for over 20 years with Larry, much of it as chair. And I knew more than most the unusual things Larry did. This county was not as sophisticated years ago, and a unique series of events would happen. There would be something new that we were doing that required planning, so let's let Larry do it. And most planners don't manage an airport conversion and the interaction with the FAA. That's not normally part of the job. All kinds of interaction with search and rescue, all kinds with the CDTA. His unique deals he did on the side were much more significant than the basic planning job that we did, because he was the go-to guy. What was most interesting is in that process, he had a lot of contacts, a lot of people he could call on to help. And when he came and started working on this area, which was his true love, he had all these assets and tricks and ideas and contacts that he had had. And we're here today because of those, I believe. Let me explain what was unique about him. It wasn't what he did, it was how he did it. He called up one day and wanted some soda and snacks for his boys, and he went to prison the next day. He went as a visitor, not as an inmate. And he got the prison warden to give him a bunch of guys, and he came out here and he trimmed, he cut, he painted. The entire scout camp grew for years because of his sideline activity, and it was extensive, believe me. Think also, who else do you know that could move a fire tower? I mean, most people don't normally move a fire tower, but he had the contacts, and all of us, if you gave Larry $1, you got $10 worth of activity out of it. So it is a pleasure to be here. I don't think we would if it hadn't been for his decade after decade of commitment to this area as it went from a scout camp through a transitional phase to a town park. It is a unique process. We're not here today honoring somebody who did something. This was really Gary's love, Larry's love. So please keep in mind what an asset he has given us. Let's appreciate it. And thank you, Larry, or thank you, Larry, for what you did. Thank you.
so I think now we do the fun part. Well, the fun part was actually putting the money in the bank. This is just ceremonial. So I guess I hadn't thought through this part. Is everybody coming up? Do we want to do like yeah. Everybody? Let's do an everybody, because I feel like, again, this is such a community effort with so many people from so many partners, so many people. So I'd just love to see as many people as we can come up here. So come on up, come on up. How about Bill or Susan, do you want to stand on one side of the check?
Oh, and look at that sun though.
I'm gonna get, don't be shy, let's, Peter, Jill, I'm looking out there, Linda Baker, can we get John, Joe, any of you all that want to come up? Appreciate.
Wide angle lens.
Yeah. Wait, we've got some here coming. Linda Baker, a passport chair.
Whoever's going to give money in the future.
That's right, everyone, right?
Everybody.
Right. Thank you so much. Did we get a good picture? I think with all those cameras, hopefully, yes. We've got one good picture. Wonderful. Again, thank you so much. We just are so excited to be starting on this. Scott, any day, you're ready. Get started. We're ready have this for people to start to come and take advantage in a new way and learn more about this wonderful area that we share with the town of Wilton, with New York State DEC, with Saratoga County, with all of our partners. So thank you again. Thank you. Thank you.